Good morning, everybody. Mark Frederick Lashuki Jungley here. I wish to tell you a story today, and it's all about almonds. And you probably think, well, why does a boucher shop creator, want to tell you about almonds? And it's quite easy. It was about 20 to 25 years ago. Excuse me. I was walking around, taking a stroll around the city of Hanover in Germany, and I came across a flea market completely by accident, and it was quite huge actually, based on a river there. I couldn't tell you the river's name now, unfortunately. And anyway, whilst I was going through this flea market, lots of interesting things, of course, lots of old kitchen area, lovely kitchen items, and I often thought, crikey, I wish I could take some of these things back home, but when you're travelling, you're limited, aren't you? Anyway, I came across a cookbook, and it was a new cookbook, okay? And but I want to tell you, the title of the book was The New Hanoverish Cookbook, or words to that effect, The New Hanover Cookbook. I can't remember exactly, which will become apparent, well, because it's been 25 years. Anyway, I was looking through this book and I came across an English sausage recipe, and I thought, oh, wow. Oh, something I forgot to tell you. This book, it was new in the year 1800. Okay. So it was nearly 200 years when I found it. So the New Hanoverish Cookbook, and inside an English sausage recipe. I thought, wow, fantastic, And when I looked down the list of ingredients, almonds were in the sausage recipe as the binder. Now, I've never heard of this in all my life. I've never heard of almonds being used as a binder for sausage meat. So anyway, I bought the book. It was in old Deutschmarks back then, before euros came in, and I think I paid something like about €5 Deutschmarks for this second-hand book, and I took it with me, and I enjoyed the book, and I even replicated the sausage recipe. I have to confess, I didn't particularly like it when I tried the sausages with the almonds in as the binder. I didn't particularly like the sausage. However, I did think to myself, maybe I should take the idea and use it in other meat sausages and see how it turns out. I never got round to doing that, but anyway, 25 years later, I'm thinking about it again. And anyway, the recipe was actually pork, okay, and but I believe if almonds were used in like a Moroccan style sausage, maybe a lamb, goat, mutton, that sort of thing, maybe with some figs, definitely some honey, and the almonds as a binder, then I think it'll do a lot better than the pork version that I tried. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you, who would have ever thought nuts would have been used as a binder. I mean, when I farmed in France and had my own butchery business in France, we used to use nuts then in certain style of sausages, but they tend to be chunky pieces or whole pieces, depending on the nut. And we used to gather all these nuts down the lanes, or we would be sold the nuts by the old ladies in the village who would walk down the lanes with their sticks and tap and turn leaves over, to find certain nuts. So we get nuts that way, and they would predominantly go in dried sausage, to say the truth, never really in a fresh sausage, like this recipe was designed as a fresh sausage. Anyway, for those who log in and watch these videos, you may or may not know what almonds are, but this is basically the nut, complete with its cover. All right, and then you've got them with their skins taken off. All right, but the way I used them in that sausage recipe is here, milled up, ground up. So just like you would a rusk or breadcrumb. nice fine crumb. Okay, so there we are. Almonds used as a sausage binder, and like or dislike, why don't you give it a go? By all means, try the port version. You may prefer it. I mean, we're all different. You know, I didn't particularly like it. You may like it, but I would definitely be giving a go with lamb. I'm certain, and honey. I think honey and almonds are going to fit together somehow, and just maybe with some figs thrown in at the end. You know, little pieces. But anyway, what happened to that book, and why am I not showing you the book? Because I used to have quite a large book collection myself, and anyway, all the books now in the hands of a colleague of mine. Salami Steve, how are you? But that book was not in the collection because I was asked to appear on the BBC with Clarissa Dixon Wright, one of the two fat ladies, of whom she's famed for, and she was filming about raspberries and rabbit, but it was mainly rabbit as to why I got involved. And I was asked, given I'm a ex-gamekeeper turned charcutier, so I'm very au fait with game, albeit rabbit is a pest. I came in to film with Clarissa in East Anglia at a university, and there we were cooking rabbit in many different forms and giving it to the students at the university to try, and all this experience was being filmed. Unfortunately, this was the last time Clarissa did any filming. She passed away soon after that, which is a crying shame because I thought she was a very clever woman. I adored her. She gave a lot on TV, and she's sorely missed. But anyway, whilst we was there to do the filming, we'd all gathered in the hotel that we were staying in, and we gathered for dinner in the restaurant. And I took a couple of books with me, just to show Clarissa what I'd recently acquired or had acquired, some time ago. In some instances, one of the cookbooks was a cookbook from the Shetland Islands, but I'll tell you about that another time. And but this book, the new Hanover cookbook, I wanted to show her this sausage recipe, me being a butcher, with almonds being used as a binder, because she had a great depth of knowledge, hence why she was, always cooking on TV. And as I came towards her, she was sat down amongst many other, filming crew and staff members. Before I could really say anything, and she went, "Oh, thank you. Are those for me? Oh, thank you very much." Because she was an avid book collector herself. In fact, she was known to have a huge cookbook collection. And so my mouth was like, as these books were like leaving my possession. So, but I thought so much of Clarissa. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't refuse or deny her her joy and glee at receiving these books. So anyway, so I lost them, and this one in particular by accident. And like I said, they went to Clarissa. They couldn't have gone to a better person, to be honest. Anyway, like I said, sadly, she left the world a short time later, which was quite sad for all her fans, including me. So that's a little story about the book and almonds as a binder. I've just got this up on my iPad, and it's just there's myself and Clarissa at this university This is all on taken from, you know, BBC iPlayer thing. It's not being run at the moment, but there's quite a lot of photos on there, so which is pretty cool. So yeah, there's a little story about the almonds. Whether you use them like this, use them like that, or even like this. You can get the shaved almonds, you know, the almond flakes, you know, which are normally placed nicely on top of cakes and things, bakery items. Those can also be used. Or you can use a mixture. So maybe you put this in as your binder and just put a few flakes just to be visible within a sausage, if you so desire. It's a unique taste. It's one that I didn't particularly, like. You know, I didn't dislike it. I just didn't think it was, you know, what I thought it was going to be. And you know, but here we are. You know, give it a go. See what you think. But now I've told you this story, I'm going to go and get me some fatty lamb, I think. See if I can find myself some mutton. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try it again, and but this time with some honey and possibly figs or some dry fruit. Anyway, I think, yeah, apricots maybe. Anyway, till the next time. Oh, buy me a coffee if you like the video. Till next time, toodaloo.